Hi, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Talks. My friend JC Moonspirit, myself, Spirit Soaring. And we tried to talk with you last week about flow, and we had some microphone difficulties. So we're trying today to talk to you again about flow, what it is, and how important it is, why we associate that with the way we live. Take it away.
Set me up. All right. I I'll be very plain. I need my flow because my flow tells me when and where I need to be in my day. And that doesn't mean that I have to do the same thing every day. It just means that when the window of opportunity is open, the flow dictates that I go in through the window. If it is closed off at that time for specific activity and there's no way for me to avoid having to do something else, I allow the flow to take me into closed off at that time. I like to flow with positive energy, and what that means for me is that if there is a task I have to accomplish, like keeping a tidy home for my health and the health of my family, then I don't need to put a negative on that or procrastinate on that because when the opportunity presents itself for me to have more creative time, if I don't have things piling up that are have tos, I can do things that I want to. And that is kind of a basic principle of flow. We here at Four of Like Kind and at Spirit Walksfar Creations focus a lot of our energy on being creative because we have a lot of creative ideas, intentions, and abilities. So we like to make sure that those gears are well oiled, and we like to go ahead and do whatever we can to be creative, whether that's painting, doing one of our shows, sewing craft, beading craft. It's just something that we really find very useful for us. It makes us happy. It also makes us not stagnate. So we don't have to worry about not having a flow when we need one. It's very important if you're having issues in your finances. If you want to flow more money towards yourself, you have to create that abundance for yourself. You have to create a window for that to come into your life. So, how do we navigate flow?
Intentionally.
Okay.
Um, just like everything else, if you set an intention for it, stick with the intention, you're going to achieve it, it being flow. Uh, and your type of flow is different from my type of flow is different. Saint's type of flow is different from everybody's intentional flow. The trick is finding people you can flow with so you have a harmony building instead of some kind of discordant note,
Right.
so nobody can get anything done.
Right.
Well, see, here's the thing. You can find harmony with anybody if you can just find where they're flowing.
Right.
If they have a flow.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have a flow, then you have a problem.
So, what is it like if you don't have a flow? Say you're completely new to this, you have no idea how to start a flow. How do you know you need one?
So you're sitting there with a dull look on your face trying to figure out what you're actually going to do with your life.
Good indicator. You don't want to be
Or
walking
are
around
you,
dead.
are you sitting there watching me even trying to figure out what I'm talking about? Because if I'm talking about flow and you don't know what I'm talking about, then obviously we have some issue there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're here to help you through those walls, over those obstacles, around those detours. It's easier to establish a flow if you can imagine a flow being a rhythm that you have to continuously move. It's easier to establish a flow even if you can picture yourself being the water in a running brook. It never sits still because if it sits still, it stagnates and then things that encounter it die.
Right.
Um, hey, that was
Right.
um, but yeah, establishing that flow, establishing that intentional directive, that intentional movement, exercising your individual will, exercising your individual strengths. That's where you need to find yourself.
Mhm.
Speak up. Say something.
Say something. I was letting you speak. You were
Oh,
doing a great job.
you're funny.
I do like that you said that people have to play to their strengths because some people may not even know that those things that they have about them that are a little bit different aren't, they're not weaknesses. I believe that we're taught, or a lot of us have been taught, that we have to be creative to the point where it's marketable. If you're not a fantastic singer, you should just set that aside. The creator didn't ask us to do that. The creator asked us all to be joyous, to
Right.
sing and to dance. And some people will literally sit there and be miserable at a function because I just don't dance, I'm not good at it. If you enjoy something, if it brings you joy, if it makes you want to make something, my thing is make something. Because if I'm having trouble writing that day and that was my intended flow and it's getting derailed, I'll go over and do a beading project because it's still making something of my day. I have something tangible to show myself at the end of the day. If I spend my whole day caring for people, I care for people, and that is still a flow for me, making sure everybody gets their individual attention. Because I'm a healer, so I don't just get to sit in a corner and bead all day. I
Right.
have to I have to teach
Well,
sometimes too, and that is its own flow. It makes me happy to help other people.
I've also found I can help others establish a flow if I get into my own established flow.
Exactly.
Um, it creates a momentum of itself.
Mhm.
And I find the people around me when I'm flowing creatively that find themselves unable to sit still. They want to be creative or they want to find their own, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to do something because I got this.
Well, he's
This
doing this, and now I've
energy.
got this idea.
Yeah, I've got this energy building up. What am I going to do? I'll look over and somebody's beading. I look over and somebody's drawing a really beautiful drawing. I look over and somebody's
Researching.
or making a post about the things that are going on around them. And, I see the creativity that blossoms around my flow.
Right.
And that encourages me to not to flow harder, but to flow when I can.
Right.
And I find that the more that I flow when I can, the more I actually flow.
Right. I like to have the point of view where if my flow makes somebody else flow, if it blossoms, like Spirit so beautifully put it, that to me is me being in the perfect rhythm. Because if I get up in the morning at sunrise and I say my prayers, my sweetie is more likely to do so. If two of us are up, another will be up, and another, and another, and it just builds on itself. And that's what I think is a really beautiful thing about flow because we as people aren't meant to be cut off from other people. That's why prison is so harsh. But I feel better about what I'm doing when I can share it with somebody else. Even if I don't have a whole writer's guild, if I sit and write and it gets my sweetie interested in drawing something and Sing's interested in doing a jewelry project and Spirit's over there painting, playing with the baby, it just spreads that joy. It's kind of like giving somebody a smile, but you're doing something that makes their life richer. You're showing them how to overcome the doldrums, basically. If I could just sit and spin and be on my phone for 9 hours a day and never get up, never get out of bed, and just wither and waste away, but where's the fun in that?
I'll say this for your mixture's benefit. I've also found that finding my flow and my creativity moves me out of the trap trade state.
Right? Doing something with your hands that isn't destructive necessarily, but is creative.
Yeah.
Flips the switch in the brain that says, nope, not angry anymore. Don't want to put that into this.
Of course, carrying around the canvas and a tray of paints everywhere you go is not quite feasible unless you're actually an artist.
But we're artists.
Finding your downtime and finding downtime, relaxation, build creativity. That's not a bad thing.
That's the most important part of what we try to teach people and why we do so many of these wonderful shows based around how you can love and accept and do more self care. Because if you create yourself a flow that allows you to knock out the to do list, you have the rest of the day to fill with all of the flow of the things that you want. You can hang out with your friends, you can create something beautiful, you can dedicate things to business time, you can have true balance in your life because everything isn't sucking you in. You're actually controlling the flow. You are in the flow, controlling the flow, directing the way your life goes. And that gives you all your power back.
It's funny you said that because I was going to mention Brother Bear in a bleak way myself by suggesting that people actually take their power back.
I've been working on that for a while. Now it's finally paying off. Like, yes, I can do it. Huh.
It's not that hard, yet it's painstakingly hard. It takes dedication. It takes
I think you have to commit to the allowance you give yourself when you take it back.
yeah.
Because I can get in an argument with somebody and feel confident coming out of it that I did the right thing, but 2 days later I might feel guilty because of the way I handled the situation. Because while I have all the power in the situation, I can still be suckered into making a bad choice
Like
if somebody
having the
tries to
argument.
pull at a heartstring, like being pulled into an argument. You don't ever have to do that. It is a choice to respond that way. But if you react retroactively like that, if you step back into that habit, you start to lose your momentum a little bit. And that's another reason we wanted to talk about flow because it's perfectly amazing to be the waters in the brook. But you don't want to drown anybody and you don't want to dry up because of somebody else overtaking, overstepping a boundary. When we find people stepping on our boundaries, we enforce the boundary and say, hey, we actually do have things we have to do. We actually have to do this for a reason. And most of the time it helps. But there are those who like to
There's
direct their own flows in
Yeah.
a way that doesn't necessarily vibe. And that's another reason we're like, hey, take your power back. It's yours. It was yours the whole time.
there's another area of flow where people really need to take their power back. A lot of people give in to pain because they were told that's okay.
Right.
And being told that that's okay was actually a lie.
Right.
Okay, because it was never okay to give in to pain. You have to don't have to push the pain, but you have to take it right to that edge to find where you can still do what you need to do. And then you back off just a little bit. That actually gives you a chance to still do what you need to do. Heal, still flow through the healing process. Okay.
We're not saying that to be against anybody who has a chronic health issue, but if you allow the health issue to become so much a part of your life that it destroys your ability to flow, we feel that it disrupts your connection to your spirit, to your source, and that in and of itself makes matters worse than they already are. So we ask people, even those who claim to be so stuck in pain that they just can't, to try taking the can out and make a small effort. Go up the stairs one time, move around the table. Don't
Hey,
stay in the same spot in the room. Move to a different spot for another activity.
I've watched somebody for the last 2 weeks when they got here. They were in so much pain. They held it until they just couldn't. And I watched them yesterday climb the steps 9 times.
Right.
And they never complained the first time
yesterday. I've watched somebody.
That takes perseverance.
Right.
Okay? That takes just dealing with it for a minute until you get to that next level. Okay, it's healed a little bit more. I can do a little bit more. And watching her stick to it, watching them stick to it, it made me proud of what my sweetie helps people.
Right? Watching my mother get up off of the couch and be okay getting off of the couch to dance was a beautiful thing. It's very important for everybody to get this kind of a message from us because whether you are In the crone state or the maiden state of your life, we want you to feel like you have a right to live your life the way you want to, not the way society tells you you have to. By the time you're 50, you don't have to be on all of these medications to make yourself healthy. You can make decisions now that can improve your life exponentially and get 50 more years at 50. Wouldn't it be nice to have your midlife crisis at an actual good point to have a midlife?
Yeah.
Would be lovely not to like enter the third season and be like, okay, we're kind of done now, right? We want people to get the maximum potential for what they're paying for. You know, you got anything else?
Um, I'm good. Do we have any comments up there?
Yes, Casey has said, hi, this is making sense. And I'm so glad that it makes sense. I haven't met you in person yet, Casey, but I'm so happy that you found us and that you're getting something positive out of what we're sharing because that was the whole point of us starting these shows 3 years ago was to help people learn and for us to learn how to help people. So we have had a blast making that happen. And this is one of those that we've tried to do multiple times. So for us to get it out in a way that is easy for people to understand is cake. That is icing on cake.
Speaking of cake, it's almost cake time. Guys, y'all have a blessed afternoon. Tune in tomorrow for Witchy Wednesday. It'll be a surprise, a special thing. Um, we're glad you come and check out what we're doing.
Mhm.
Share us with your friends. Get them to share us with their friends. We're trying to help as many people as we can. And the more people we can help, the better we feel.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings, everybody. Sings and I will see you tomorrow.